The large office door closed as Mevika stepped inside. She saw her father pouring tea into a cup on his desk, so she walked over and sat on the guest sofa, waiting. He glanced at her and frowned slightly when he saw her sitting quietly without saying anything. Feeling stressed already? It's only Monday, Nuttacorn asked as he picked up his tea and walked over to sit on the sofa across from his daughter. Well, hesitated. She felt a little nervous since her father had called her in after she hadn't been home for 4 nights. Too stressed, maybe just a bit tense from a busy week. I see. I thought taking a trip would help you relax. Didn't expect you to goon vacation during such an important time. But if you needed a break, I understand. You prepared a lot of information already. Just need to review everything internally and finalize the numbers one more time. So, who did you go with? You said you went to the beach with friends. Was it Nanny? Yes. Since she had been using that friend's name as an excuse, she had to stick with it. She was confident she could answer if her father asked more questions, but he never really pressed her. She was just afraid he might start getting suspicious since she had been going out a lot and avoiding home lately. Was there anyone else? He raised an eyebrow. I get the feeling you might have, someone you're seeing. He shrugged. A boyfriend, maybe? Mevika was startled. Did he really suspect something? Why do you think I have a boyfriend? Well, when people are in a relationship, they usually want to spend a lot off time together. I get that. But I just want you to tell me if you're dating Somyeon. I know I used to be strict, but I do want you to find someone, but I just realized you're already 27. It's about time you had someone in your life. I just want to be sure you meet a good person, her father said. Well, hearing his last sentence, Mevika suddenly had the urge to blurt out, what if that person is good but not a man? Not a man. She quickly gathered her thoughts, realizing what she had just said. She wasn't ready to confess yet, especially not before the bidding process was over. I was just saying hypothetically. Since you said you just want someone good, I was just making up a scenario. Nothing serious. Hypothetical, huh? Nuttacorn thought for a moment. Well, I guess the word good person can be tricky these days. People often claim to be good while hiding their true intentions. But what I mean is simple. I want someone who is sincere to you, who understands you, voice in a player, and who won't hurt or disappoint you. I don't want you toned up with someone selfish, someone who's only with you for their own gain or just because you're beautiful. I understand. I have to admit, people often approach me because of my looks. It's usually the first thing that attracts them, which is normal. But that alone isn't enough. There are many other reasons that make me accept Somyeon, like when I realize they care about me more than I expected and genuinely take good care of me. Talking like you've already met someone like that, her father said, narrowing his eyes slightly. Are you? Let's just say, I found the kind of person I want to meet. Smiled. The kind of person you want to meet? Well, that sounds exactly like the kind of person I want you to meet, too, Nuttacorn chuckled. If that's the case, then bring them to meet me. If they really are that person, I'll have to accept them. I just need to see for myself. I do want to introduce them to you when the time is right, she replied. It was both a feeling of relief and worry at the same time. She truly felt she had found someone like that. But there was just one problem, who that person was. If she wasn't Superior's rival, things would be easier. And she could only hope that when the time came, her father would accept the fact that the person she wanted to be with was also a woman. Good. Took a sip of his tea and set the cup down. Oh, speaking of which, Jorana already told me about you meeting that ration guy. So he really tricked you into having dinner with him. And now you have to be in the news with him too. Oh, yes, he did that. But I managed to get away from him. He's really Somyeon to be trusted. He's untrustworthy in both the bidding process and personal matters. It's good to keep your distance. If anything else suspicious happens, let me know. We probably can't take legal action since he approached you as a customer, but if it happens again, we'll have to talk. Be very careful. But I think if I just ignore him, he might lose interest in me eventually. She remembered what Awerin had told her and hoped that was the case. But if he didn't stop bothering her, she might have to use the same method Awerin had used. Thursday arrived quickly. Not seeing a certain someone for 4 days at a time feels slow, but with work piling up and deadlines approaching, the day seemed to pass in a blur. Awerin was right. This week, she and Mevika barely had time to see each other, and that's exactly how things turned out. The upcoming Monday was the deadline for submitting the bidding documents. 3 days after that, the technical proposals would be opened. Then, on the following Monday, the financial proposals would be revealed, along with the announcement of the highest scoring bid. Everything was happening in a short time frame, meaning there wouldn't be much room for changes or new decisions. 2 days ago, Awarin had uncovered new information. Ration, under Great and Gro's name, was secretly pulling strings to win the bid. She had also found out exactly who he was using his connections to influence. That person was Feuidal, one of the selection committee members for the greater duty-free concession bid. He was the last member appointed to the committee and had ties to Chainarong, the former minister who had just resigned from the ruling party to form a new political party for the upcoming elections. If we don't get first place, we might still have a chance at second, her advisor commented. He was already aware that Ration had been using his connections. This had been discussed in a previous meeting. However, he didn't know that Awarin had sent someone to investigate and uncover names. Today, only a small group had been called into Awarin's office to discuss the matter, and the debate quickly heated up. Second place isn't an option, and losing first place is even worse, Awarin sighed. But can a single person's vote really have that much influence, if he's persuasive enough? Definitely use their experience in logistics and distribution as their main selling point, and I'm sure they'll present an overly ambitious business plan. But when it comes to real expertise and experience, we have the upper hand. What concerns me is the financial proposal. No matter how much we try to predict their numbers, it doesn't matter. We have to secure a technical advantage first. As for the financial aspect, she paused, lost in thought. All right, that's enough discussion for today. Tomorrow, we'll go through final document check before submitting on Monday. Make sure all the paperwork is thoroughly reviewed. Her team acknowledged the instructions and left the room. Once Awarin was alone in her office again, she picked up her phone and checked a message that had been sitting there for a while. She had sent a simple text earlier. I miss you. Now there was a reply. Maple, I miss you too. We'll see each other again soon, right? Seeing those words made her smile. Not only had she been missed, but the message also hinted that the other person was looking forward to seeing her as well. Without hesitation, she quickly typed a reply. AI, are you really busy? I really want to see you. Are you free for Anwar tonight, Maple, tonight? My team wants to go out for drinks. They invited me along, Maple. We've all been working hard lately, so they just want to grab dinner and have a few light drinks. I thought I'd treat them a little. AI, drinks on a Thursday night. AI, where are you going? I'd love to stop by and see you. No one has toasted me, Maple. I don't want anyone to see, but I also really want to see you, Maple. Are you really coming? I'll send you the location. I'll find a moment to sneak out and see you. Awarin smiled when she saw that Mevika had agreed. A moment later, a message popped up with the name of the restaurant and a location link. She quickly typed her reply. AI, that's great. I'll head over soon. The sound of live music filled the air as Awarin parked her car outside the bar. It was almost 10 p.m., and Mevika had just messaged her, saying their team was still drinking and would probably head home by midnight since they had work in the morning. Sitting in her car, Awarin waited after making a call to say she had arrived. A few moments later, the person she had been longing to see finally managed to slip away from her colleagues. Someone missed me so much that she had to drive all the way here, Mevika teased as she got into the car. And didn't someone else miss me too? Otherwise, why would she agree to meet me at a place full of her own employees? Awarin reached out and gently pinched Mevika's cheeks before pulling her into a hug and giving her a light kiss on the lips. Mevika smiled, feeling like the kiss wasn't enough. She leaned in and kissed Awarin again, and when Awarin kissed her back, it turned into a deep, lingering kiss. 4 days apart had built up their longing for each other, and this moment was a way to make up for the time they had missed, and possibly for the days ahead when they wouldn't be able to see each other until Monday. They took their time before finally pulling away. I missed you so much, Mevika whispered. Awarin smiled. That was so sweet. You're finally letting yourself be affectionate with me. Do you know how cute that is? Really? Mevika grinned, hoping she'd be seen as even cuter. Good. Awarin was completely charmed, but something else crept into her mind, causing her expression to shift. What's wrong? Mevika noticed immediately. The soft, happy look on Awarin's face had turned into something more serious. It's nothing. Awarin quickly shook her head. Why do you think something's wrong? I don't know, you just don't seem as relaxed. Or are you still stressed about your dad? No, not really. There are just some things on my mind. And maybe I've been too buried in work lately. Then make sure to get some rest, okay? Mevika reached out and gently stroked Awarin's head, hopping to bring her some comfort. You're really adorable. Awarin said, her previous stress vanishing in an instant. She tried to smile, feeling warmth from Mevika's gentle care. Maybe that was why she had been so distracted earlier. All right, I think I can only borrow you for this long. If you stay out too long, won't someone come looking for you? It hasn't been too long yet, but some of my team might start heading home soon. I should get back inside since I don't plan to stay much longer either. Go on then. Awerin glanced outside the car and saw a small group of drunken men stumbling out of the bar. There's a bunch of drunk guys walking around. Let me walk you in. You want to walk me in? It's fine. I need to stop by the restroom anyway. No one's going to recognize me by chance, right? Who knows? Mevika chuckled. Probably not. We won't have to keep this a secret for much longer anyway. That's true. Awerin nodded as she opened the car door. Let's go. She walked around the car and wrapped an arm around Mevika, guiding her past the group of drunken men and into the bar. They reached a narrow walkway leading toward the back tables where Addern and the path led to the restrooms. Mevika stopped and turned to Awerin. You can leave me here. See you on Monday. She glanced around to make sure no one was watching before leaning in Topland a quick kiss on Awerin's cheek, then stepped back with a sweet smile. Miss me a lot, okay? Awerin blushed. After all the kisses they had shared, a simple peck on Thecheek still managed to fluster her. Kun Maple. A startled voice made both Mevika and Awerin freeze. Their eyes widened in shock as they turned toward the source of the voice. Pijai. Mevika gasped, blurting out her secretary's name. She had no idea when Jurana had arrived or how much she had seen. When did you get here? I got here when. Jurana waved her hands uncertainly, looking flustered. When you. She twirled her finger in the air, struggling for words. When you just did whatever that was. She was clearly still in shock after walking in at the exact moment her boss had pulled in another woman for a kiss on the cheek. And now that she saw the other woman's face clearly, her shock only grew. What is this? Pijai. Mevika quickly stepped forward, grabbing Jurana's wrist. Were you coming to the restroom? I was looking for you, Kun Maple. We thought you might be leaving and wanted to know if we should handle the bill. Then I found. Come with me first. Mevika immediately pulled Jurana along, also grabbing Awerin's Hondan, dragging her with them. They walked until they reached a small photo spot with seating, where Mevika urged Jurana to sit down while Awerin stood nearby, waiting with an unreadable expression. Mevika needed to say something before Jurana's thoughts ran too far. So, when exactly did you get here? Right when you kissed her. Okay. Mevika cut her off immediately as Jurana started pointing at Awerin. You're Awerin, right? Jurana asked, glancing at the woman standing before her, arms crossed with a slightly bemused look. Yes, that's me, Awerin confirmed. You're Maple's secretary, I remember you. I remember you too, Jurana replied. So we all recognize each other, Mevika interrupted, raising her hands like a referee calling a timeout. Pijai, please don't tell anyone. About Kun AI, or what you saw just now, please keep it a secret, okay? Keeping it a secret isn't hard, but which part am I keeping secret? You mean, your secretary is asking whether she's supposed to keep secret the fact that we are close despite being business rivals, or whether she's wondering what kind of relationship we actually have, Awerin answered for her. Yes, exactly that. Jurana forced a nervous smile. I was just wondering how you two got so close. And what exactly is their relationship between you and Kun Awerin, Kun Maple? Well, we're very close. Really close, I guess. Mevika laughed awkwardly. How should I put this? Maybe we can explain more later, Awerin suggested. Whatever it is, for now, we just need you to keep it a secret. Can you doth that, Kunjai? She hesitated slightly over the name, having picked it up from how Mevika addressed her earlier. It's Jurana, the secretary corrected. Oh, got it, Jurana. Awerin tested the pronunciation before smiling. Can I call you Gina instead? Oh, Jurana laughed. Wow, an international nickname. Gina, sure if you'd like. All right then, Kun Gina, please keep this between us for now, Awerin said. It won't be a secret for much longer, so don't worry. But during the bidding period, we still need to keep it under wraps. You make it sound like you'll go public right after the bidding ends, Jurana blurted out, then immediately clapped a hand over her mouth. You take it that way is up to you, Pijai, Mevika said, now serious. Just keep it quiet for now. All you need to know is that Kun AI and I are business rivals, but we're also friends. That's all okay? Oh, I see. But I do know that you and Kun Awerin are friends to the extent of kissing cheeks and telling each other to think about one another, Jurana teased, grinning. But don't worry, I'll keep that to myself too. Mevika gasped, caught off guard by her secretary's bluntness. Okay, I won't say anything more, Jurana said with a chuckle. It's just I've worked with you for years and I've never seen this side off you before. It's kinda cute, honestly. Anyway, I'll head back to the table now and make sure no one notices I've just witnessed something interesting. With that, she got up and walked off, leaving Mevika and Awerin exchanging looks, one embarrassed, the other amused. Your secretary is pretty funny, Awerin chuckled. Feel like treating Pigina to a drink. Treat me to a drink? Jurana raised an eyebrow. No way. Mevika quickly stood up and gave Awerin a light shove on the shoulder. You should head back now. Pijai and I will go back to the table. If we both disappear for too long, the others will start getting suspicious. All right, I'll go, Awerin relented. But don't stay out too late. Get home safe, okay? And message me when you get there. I'll text you. Mevika responded with a sweet smile. Their conversation unfolded right in front of Jurana, who sat watching Thetwo with narrowed eyes. The way they talked, exchanged smiles, and lingered a little too long, it was impossible for her not to see it. So she couldn't help but comment. Oh my God, she said, bringing a hand up to cover her mouth playfully. At first, I thought maybe I was just imagining things, but now I don't think so anymore. That one remark made both Mevika and Awerin immediately snap out off their moment, quickly putting some distance between them.